Recently, I had to move my DIY fingerboard park table, and it's currently empty. I plan on completely redoing it, but before I add any permanent fixtures or pour any concrete, I want to do a mock-up of the whole park using obstacles only from Tech Deck. I'll be using the Neon Mega Park set that I did an unboxing of on the channel a while back, the Skate Garage set, and I also picked up the competition wall set for some higher vert ramps. I'm excited to try these ramps out, and also in this video, I'll give my opinion whether I think these Tech Deck sets make a good option for a fingerboard park. One thing I like about these sets is that they are modular and the different ramps can be combined using the X connectors. I also like that with just a few sets, you can really get endless possibilities for different park layouts. Unboxing the smaller Skate Garage set, I was surprised with how many parts it comes with. Here's the blind board that it comes with. And it also comes with this little parking kind of like meter, open and close. It actually feels a lot cooler than I thought it would. I'm actually most curious to see how it works and maybe do some tricks off of it. Up next, we got the finesse board, really nice graphic. And this is one of the bigger ramp pieces, as well as this is the ramp piece of the garage. And it came with an extra little mystery pack from Tech Deck. Since I've already got the Tech Deck that comes with it, this is most likely just the X connectors. I'll open it in just a moment. I'm going to do a quick inventory of all the ramps and different pieces that I've got. These are all the pieces from the two smaller sets, and of course, can't forget the cones. And then these are all the bigger pieces that are from the Neon Mega set. And I also have a small Tech Deck spine ramp that came with the Tech Deck BMX. As well as, to finish off the park, I've got the Tech Deck Pro Series 3 pack of obstacles. I have a full unboxing as well as review of the set on the channel if you want to check that out. But this is pretty much Tech Deck's 3 pack of obstacles. It comes with a rail, a little box, and a jersey barrier, and all of the obstacles feel a lot more realistic than Tech Deck's other kind of ramps and stuff that's a lot lighter weight and plastic. I'm going to get started laying out the park using this corner piece and some quarter pipes on the left-hand side of the park. This is the side of the park that I plan on making a concrete quarter pipe, so I definitely want to try some different variations out and different sizes as well as shape ramps. While putting together this part of the Skate Garage set, I noticed that I'm missing one of the cross beams. I've only got 3 of the 4, so I hope that it still works. But it seems like it's pretty strong with just the 3. And this is the down hubba. This goes to the Neon Park set. Once this is all together, it's really solid as well. And I actually really like this once it is all put together. It looks pretty clean. The X connectors sometimes can be a challenge, but for the most part, once they are in, they hold everything together really well. And I'm going to use the stairs and down hubba on the back side of the park, kind of in the middle. And finally going to unbox this mystery bag. And it is a bunch of X connectors as well as other X connector pieces and the X connector plugs. And for the Skate Garage set, I'm going to go ahead and try and build it pretty much like the pack has it on the front of the picture. And these X connect pieces just slide in place just like the other pieces. This riser box piece goes to the competition wall set, but I'm going to use it separately. And this is the piece that goes on top of it. It is kind of like a wall piece with a grind ledge on top. And instead I'm going to use these X connectors inside like this facing downwards. And I'm going to put it on top of this other riser box that is connected to some stairs as well as another ramp on the other side. So it's got a full kind of line to grind. And the only part that I had any real difficulty putting together was the Skate Garage set. I tried sliding it together, which it didn't really slide together. It more pressed together on one side and then slid on the ramp side. But then trying to press it together like I thought it would was pretty challenging as well. So I ended up using the X connector pieces and I put it on the riser box itself and kind of popped them in place. And then using the ramp, I just slid it on the ramp. This is the set that was missing one of the crossbars, and with everything together, it seems pretty solid. And I ended up using this riser box separately. I used a riser box as well as kind of a ramp to put together. And I also found this other obstacle. It's just a pallet that opens up. And it also has a little grind ledge on the top. But this came with I believe a Tech Deck BMX bike. And with the X connectors, it just pops right on the top. I'm not really sure the benefit of putting it all together like this, but I thought it looked kind of cool. With all of the obstacles in place, since the obstacles are on the lighter side, they tend to move around on smooth surfaces. So I'm going to go ahead and tape them down using Teak Tuning transition tape. And this stuff is awesome. It's great for taping down obstacles in place. as well as making a transition from the flat ground to the ramps, make it so it's really easy to roll up on and out of. I like that the tape is really durable and it has a little bit of stretch in it so you can get into the corners, as well as the fact that it can be used and reused as long as it doesn't get too dirty. While the tape is super sticky, I like that it hasn't left any residue on my park when I've used it in the past before or on my desk. And with the caution tape design, I think it looks pretty cool to put it on all the pieces around the park, and it kind of gives a theme to the whole park. With all the obstacles in place and taped down, all that's left to do is try out the park. And to test out the park first, I'm going to use the tech deck that was included in one of the sets, the blind graphic board, off the launch ramp tray flip, which was a success. And overall, I really am impressed with Tech Deck's ramps. The only thing I would say is that they are on a little bit on the smaller side, and they are plastic, so they do slide around a lot compared to actual real materials. And even the Pro Series set, while it is real materials, it is a little bit on the smaller side. So when I go ahead and do make my ramps and anything that I pour out of concrete or out of wood, I make sure to make a little bit bigger scale than the Tech Deck stuff. Overall, I really like the layout and flow of this park. Let me know in the comments what you think of the park layout, if you change anything. The only thing I would personally change is I would add another set of quarter pipes at the other side of the park. On the left-hand side, I've got those, but then on this side, I kind of get to the end here, and there's not much to do other than to kind of turn around. But with another set of quarter pipes, it would be a nice flow to go back and forth. And I actually really liked the skate garage set. While it's not really that functional, or at least I didn't think it would be, it's a lot of fun to do tricks off of the steep ramps. One of the first things I noticed testing out the Tech Deck Fingered BMX bike is that the scale seems to be a lot better for the bike than it is for the skateboard Tech Decks. On the skateboard Tech Decks, it does seem to be a little bit on the smaller side, but for this BMX bike, it actually seems pretty perfect. And I had a lot of fun going up the ramps as well as doing some different grinds on the pegs. All of the sets that I got, I think, are a good value for what you get in the box. That being said, all 4 of these sets together came up to over $100. And if you're looking to go the cheap route, this is a lot cheaper than a Pro Series set of ramps, but at the same time, still not that cheap. And if you are into doing your own, kind of making your own stuff and DIY, that is also a really good route to go if you do want to save a little bit of money. And if you're like me and like making miniature realistic scale obstacles, it's definitely a good way to go. And it's one of my favorite parts of the fingerboard hobby as well as the community, and seeing what everybody else makes is really cool as well. If you do end up making anything DIY as far as obstacles go, definitely make sure to share it using the hashtag StickyArtFBDIY. And I'll add them to the playlist that I have on the channel as well as check them out. If you want to get more ideas for DIY obstacles, make sure to check out the playlist and see what other people have uploaded. Shout out to Frantic FB for this chain barrier, as well as all the other obstacles that you've uploaded on your channel. And shout out to everyone else who already submitted on the hashtag. In a little bit, I'll make a video compiling some of my favorites. Another shout out to Crafty FB as well, who has made a bunch of obstacles in this one video. And one of my favorites personally that I did myself was a quarter pipe out of cardboard. Actually came out really nice on the channel. If you want to check out this video, it is up as well. All that's left to do is try out the park with a professional fingerboard. I'm using my main setup, which is a Plike fingerboard deck with dynamic trucks, anxiety offline bushings, and teak tuning Apex Street wheels. I noticed on the skate garage that I'm also missing the curved rail piece, but even without that piece going down, it still is a lot of fun to go up and down the obstacle and do some stalls on the top of it, as well as go under and over the moving arm. The obstacles from Tech Deck are definitely on the smaller scale, even when using with Tech Decks, and when using with a fingerboard that is a little bit wider, you can definitely notice it even a little bit more. And it just makes everything a little bit more challenging to do tricks just because everything's a little bit smaller, but it's still very functional and a lot of fun. And the other most notable difference between this set and a professional set is going to be the sound. Everything made out of plastic has more of a plastic kind of like hard sound to it. It's kind of loud versus the professional obstacles, which have a lot more realistic and not as loud sound. I personally prefer the sound of the Pro obstacles enough that if I had to choose between all 4 obstacles, I would go for the Pro Series just for that alone. And another thing to point out is that the Pro obstacles also take up a lot less space and can be put up pretty fast and also taken down, while this set took a little bit longer to put together and also takes up a lot more space. I also found that the grind rails on the plastic set from Tech Decks are a little bit flimsy, but that being said, they are super smooth, and overall everything holds up. And as far as using for a fingerboard park, I think everything from Tech Deck is definitely worthy, just a little bit on the small side. I had a lot of fun skating all of these sets, and there's definitely a lot of variety in all the packs, and it gave me some really good ideas for when I redo my park with concrete, how big to make the ramps and where to put everything. That about wraps up the video, but thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, make sure to smash the like button as well as subscribe and turn on post notifications for when I post my newest videos. And until next time, peace.